right now, we are very happy to welcome our guest co-host. He is a celebrated author and executive coach. He started out as a serial entrepreneur, overcoming many challenges, including bankruptcy, not only once, but twice. And here he is today. Please welcome Dr. Corrie Block.
Thank you.
Dr. Corrie, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I really appreciate that.
So we're going to be talking a lot with you today. You're going to be our guest co-host for the whole episode.
Happy to do it. I was saying backstage I can talk about anything for 90 minutes, so it's fine. You've got 90 minutes, right?
We've got a lot less than that. So let's get into the most general question. So many entrepreneurs, including yourself, are here in this fine city. What is it about the city that attracts so many people?
I think it's just the focus on innovation, right? We've got so many good incubators and accelerators, great VCs. Just the quality of the infrastructure for entrepreneurs is really attractive. It's easy to get to, and honestly, it doesn't matter where you're coming from in the world. You can be back home in less than a day. Like, it's just the hub. It's the hub of the world.
And it's the people here as well.
Oh, it's incredible, incredible. And they say your network is your net worth, right? But in Dubai, it's so easy to build really high quality relationships with exactly the people you need for whatever the niche is that you're trying to build.
You just need a WhatsApp. Much.
Exactly. Exactly. We're completely religious about WhatsApp here. It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
Now, Dr. Corrie, you're widely recognized that the UAE is one of the top coaches in the UAE.
Thank you.
Right? And you've helped a lot of leaders find their why and their purpose, right? Any advice for entrepreneurs on finding their business niche and their why behind that?
Yeah, I think in the beginning for entrepreneurs, it really has to come from passion. I tell entrepreneurs all the time, starting a company is like having a child. I've got 5 kids, okay? Raising a child, for the first 2 years, it's just screaming and crying, most of which is yours, right? They're very expensive. You don't sleep very much. Nobody thanks you for anything, and you're always trying to save it from killing itself. Like, that really is the life. You know, right? The first couple of years, it's really that intense. So I say just be patient with yourself, but make sure that what it is that you're doing, you're very passionate about. You're passionate about the value that it's going to add to the world in exchange for a share of the resources you're hoping to win. If you're not passionate about the value that it's going to add to the world, then your clients won't be either, your investors won't be either. So you really need to embody that. You are the product for a while.
I love that.
As Faris mentioned earlier, there are a lot of entrepreneurs here in Dubai, and a lot of them have really great ideas, but they don't know how to execute them. How do you take it from an idea to impact?
That's really, well, first of all, coaching. Coaching helps. So get yourself into an accelerator, get yourself into an incubator, find somebody around you that can help. That's what I did. In my 20s, I started 5 companies before the age of 25. And it was the mentors and coaches around me. And most of them were just successful business people, and I would just con them into coaching me by bribing them with lunch. You know, and I'd be, hey, come and have lunch with me. I'm going to buy you lunch. Like, yeah, cool, lunch. But then I would just grab all of that wisdom, looking for what the market wants, looking for how to lead my team, looking for what investors might be looking for. You know, and find it from them through lunch. And I think that's just the biggest thing is network. You're going to be limited by your network.
And you've gone from that into coaching yourself.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your method when it comes to coaching, because I know science is involved. How do you work specifically?
I am very focused on evolutionary psychology and neuroscience. I'm a board-certified master neuroplastician and a certified performance neuroscience coach. So those are very fancy words, but for saying I can mess with your brain in a way that helps you to make more money. Okay, so those are important sentences. I can mess with your brain in a way that helps you make more money, and that's true of C-suite executives in large multinational organizations like ADNOC and EANT here. I coach there, and of entrepreneurs. I always keep 4 or 5 of my coaching roster spots open for founders and entrepreneurs because that's how I got my start. But yeah, there's tons of science behind it. I don't have a roadmap to your success. I think that's arrogant. But what I do have is I have a warehouse of tools and I have a compass. So no matter where you're starting from or where you want to go, I'm pretty sure it can help you get there.
And Dr. Corrie, how is it different coaching entrepreneurs versus C-suites?
Very different, actually. Owners have, well, let's say the risk profile is their personal life, right? So if the company dies, yes, it's going to be really sad. I've buried a couple of companies, so I know it's tragic, internally tragic. But if let's say CEO of a major multinational with 80,000 families, if they have a bad day, 1,000 families lose their primary source of income, or the stock price falls 4% and you have 2.5 million angry investors whose generational wealth just went down. Like, so the risk profile of coaching at the C-suite in the multinational is very different. It's like coaching an Olympic athlete.
Wow.
You're coaching somebody that in their game, there's maybe 15 to 20 people in the world that can play at that level. And the risk profile is far bigger than missing out on a gold medal if they have a bad day.
Wow.
So Corrie, you mentioned in your intro, actually, Faris mentioned it, about bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to know about your journey and
Yeah.
how you overcome hurdles like bankruptcy, and how do you then teach people from the things that you've gone through?
Yeah, my first bankruptcy was actually in 2008 in the World Economic Crisis. So I had invested with a broker that invested badly, and I didn't know enough about financial modeling at that time to question it. So we just lost everything, just like that. We watched the balance of our wealth just drop down below zero in less than 3 weeks, and there was nothing we could do about it. And it was, I just felt completely powerless. I felt completely demoralized. I felt just totally betrayed. And then what do? I'm an apex predator. I've got 1,000,000 years of wisdom stuck in my head. I am the most intelligent, most dangerous animal on the planet, and I live in the most abundant time in all of human history. So I look in the mirror and pick myself up and look at my family for some moral support, some encouragement, and then I get back to work. If I can do it once, I can do it again.
And then it did happen again.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I've crossed the $1 million mark 3 times in my life. Yeah, they say the first million is the hardest. The second time is a lot easier, and the third time is even way easier. So, yeah.
That's an incredible story, because a lot of people would give up when they see it go wrong more than once. I want to know if you had, I know coaching sessions take, quite a few weeks sometimes, but if there's one skill or trait that a person can learn that is going to help them the most, what would you say that is?
Discipline. The ability to choose your behavior regardless of how you feel. We're very emotional creatures, and we make most of our decisions and choose most of our behaviors based on how we feel. I feel like a Big Mac. I feel like going to the gym. I feel like watching TV. I feel like going to work. I feel like not going to work. Whatever it is. So when you think of yourself as a feeling, a human feeling, that's probably your default mode. Discipline is, I think, what's really set me apart and my coaching apart. The results of my coaching is that I help people to choose behaviors that are unnatural to them.
Yeah.
They want to exhibit this behavior, but you have to get through a whole bunch of feelings before you actually do that piece. So the neuroscience behind that is really, it's quite elegant. It takes longer than can be explained on the show. But the result of that is that you move from motivation, which is really easy, right? Motivation is easy. I want to go to the gym, right? So you've given yourself dopamine and serotonin just for thinking about going to the gym. But if you sit there for 40 seconds, your anterior insula is going to give you another hit of the same dopamine just for not going to the gym because you're avoiding a risk. Right? So motivation's easy, doesn't really do a lot. Discipline is the hard, dark forest between the easiness of motivation and the easiness of habit. Habit is easy too, because you don't think about it. But you have to earn that, and it's that dark bit of discipline where it's day after day at the same time in your circadian rhythm. You add a practice, you choose a different behavior, you notice, you do triage, you do an autopsy on a meeting that went really poorly, and that's how you do it. But discipline is the #1 practice, I think, of successful people.
Love that.
Sticking on practices, so I would love to get some practical advice for the entrepreneurs out there.
Is
in
this
Dubai.
for you personally?
Well, I could be one of them, asking for a friend, asking for a friend. So there's a lot of businesses in Dubai. Everyone's an entrepreneur. I go to so many business launches, but what is your practical advice for having a business that lasts as opposed to one that just launches?
Yeah, connect with people, right? Doesn't matter how good your product or service is. If somebody doesn't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. Okay, and if they trust you, they're much more likely to buy and to stay loyal. Remember, we're human beings, right? And we've got 1,000,000 years of successful survival and adaptation behind us. Each and every one of us, every one of your clients, every one of your employees, every one of your customers, every one of your investors is the product of 10,000 iterations of a successfully improving connection machine. We can't survive the planet alone. And so our ancestors earned us the right to be born by knowing who to trust, knowing who to connect with, knowing how to connect, knowing who was going to share their resources with them when nobody was looking, knowing who it was that who was going to have their back. And that is what you need to be investing in, because money comes and goes. There's an unlimited amount of that on the planet, right? We're inventing new currencies because we're bored with the ones that we have. But connection is, it gets exceedingly rare when you're the more complex and the more busy your life is. And Dubai has a tendency to help us to become so busy that we become disconnected. And so keep your relationships really, really tight.